All right, Craig.
Is that your best Trace impression?
Yeah. How'd I do?
I think it was a valiant effort.
All right.
Let's see. What do we got? I missed the end there. Looks like Ashcraft got out of it. So we are headed to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 6-6.
What we're gonna do here is a little nameplate action. What's your handle?
I don't know, man.
Oh my gosh. Just gonna put at Craig.
That works. Let's see if we're up on Twitter.
Craig _ Sandlin. We're not. I didn't do that yet.
Well, I tried, but I'm not seeing a preview. So let me end this and try again.
There's two in there, I think. I think it's the R.
Make sure I got
TTMP.
the RTMP.
I
Okay.
think it's that one. I don't know.
There you are.
Yeah.
There's a little preview. Now we're live.
We're rolling. All right.
All right. Well, how about that? Well, welcome in, everybody. Hope everybody's having a swell Wednesday night. I'm not Trace Fowler. Trace was scheduled to be on the broadcast tonight, but had some family stuff come up. So here I am. And so incredibly prepared for this, let me tell you. It's going to be a great show, Nick.
Let's go.
Hopefully this doesn't go like 15 innings, though.
Yeah, hopefully not. I got an early morning. I like to watch the end of this Cavs game. Mike Ackley, I got to take care of important business. Has Evander got 2 shots on goal? That's what I need to know from Mike Ackley. 2 shots on goal. No, I think I only need one shot on goal. Surely, right?
I don't know. You tell us.
I don't even know where you looked that up.
Oh, I think we can figure that out pretty quickly.
Does he have a goal? I mean, I think that would be a shot on goal.
He does have a goal. He does have a goal.
Well, I think he has a shot on goal. I think that's how that works.
Well, did you just need one or do you need 2?
I think I just needed one. I just needed one and a draw.
Okay. Well, it's 3-3 in the 81st minute. So
there you go.
There you go. All right. Cool. Anyway, enough of FC Cincinnati. This is Chatterbox Reds. Matt McLean standing in 0-for-3 on the night facing Varland. Where are you at in this game?
I don't know. I got to hit fast forward because it always gets behind for some reason.
All right. Well, McLean just drove a double down the left field line, so that's a nice little start to the ninth inning.
Oh, we got a little 6-7 action.
Yep. Okay, we're probably pretty close then. Oh, 6-7 in the crowd, too. That guy was all about it.
I like it. That
all right.
Some energy.
I got the replay running right now.
Yeah, I got the replay. Swing, bang. Going towards the wall.
Okay, you might be slightly ahead of me.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got to put that runner on second, Craig. All right.
Too busy trying to line ourselves up. Nope, you're ahead of me. Pick off.
All right, I'm going to try to pause.
See if we can get a pitch clock. Dane Myers, who maybe we'll talk about this during the show, Nick, but Dane Myers coming into the game pretty early.
I paused on two.
3-2, 1, bunt, popped up, caught by the pitcher. Dane Myers, my guy.
Oh, you gotta love unsuccessful bunts.
You know who probably would have got that bunt down, Nick, who normally bats in the leadoff spot?
I don't know. Can he bunt? Can anyone bunt?
That's all right. Ellie's going to win the game for us right here. 6, 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, we're right.
All right, cool.
We're on it.
Sweet. Ellie takes pitch 1, fastball, knee high, strike 1. Exciting day for Chatterbox, Nick. Got some exciting news on a new partner that I'm excited to share sooner than later. And I know you had some. No, not tonight.
Okay.
Just a little tease, just a little Trace tease here.
Yeah, okay. The classic.
Ellie swings at a ball out of the zone 0-2. You hired a couple of new interns today, so that's exciting.
Shout out. Doesn't like hiring an intern and turning around a graphic 2 hours later. I mean, like,
How about that? Does he have a background in graphic design, or is that like kind of what he does? Or all right, sweet.
Looked good.
We take that. 1-2. Up and in to Ellie. Ooh. Even the count at 2.
I don't think does Ellie have a walk-off hit?
Not this year. I don't
know if he has one at all.
Ever?
I'm trying to think.
He sends that one to left field. Outfield was playing in. James Wood gets it in left field. McLean will have to retreat. I thought that might sneak over their head. Man, they were playing shallow for Ellie.
Well, they're trying to throw out the runner at the plate. They're trying to.
It's just a quick Google, but looks like May 31st of 2023, he hit a walk-off home run for Louisville, but I don't see anything about
I don't think
walk-off in the majors.
I don't think so. I mean, I've been doing a post-game show for his entire career, and I feel like that would have tickled the old memory bank.
How about Sal Stewart? Does he have any walk-off home runs or hits in general? How about a 2-out walk-off hit?
How about a walk-off wild pitch that bounces?
Well,
he's got has a lot of airs. All right, well.
Including one tonight.
We didn't want extra innings, and we got it, so here we go.
Well.
All right, where are we
at here? Can't always get what you want.
Where are we at here in the old Nats order?
We got Jacob Young, Dalen Lyle, and then Joey Weimer coming up.
Joey Weimer.
5, 6, 7.
That would track.
2 for 3, 1 for 3, 1 for 3.
All right, where are we going?
And into the game for the Reds, Tony Santillan. He hasn't allowed any runs lately, has he?
I mean, it's a pretty good spot for him. I mean, you're past the heart of the order.
I mean, again, this always comes down to who's available, but you got
a weak hitting right on right.
Yep. Pierce Johnson, Luis May, Sam Mull, Connor Phillips technically available in the bullpen.
Lyle can hit a little bit. Whew. All right, we need likes. Like, Craig Bunning's fine in that spot. It's just like these guys have to be able to get down a bunt. Like you either got to. I'm not in on bunting, but you got to be in on it if you're in on it. And like, there's just too many bunts that are like popped up. Like that never really gets brought up in the conversation when you talk about, well, sacrifice bunting is screw the analytics and whatnot. You're also not even factoring in the fact that half the time they're not even getting these bunts down.
Yeah, you got to get down. Got to do the basics. Got to be able to execute, and unable to do that here in the ninth. So we'll see.
Reds 19-11.
What a stat!
Area code. That's a big league stat. That's what that MLB.com research can do.
All right, CJ Abrams is your ghost runner at second. That's important. He's fast. We'll see how the Nats try to attack this.
This guy's fast too at the plate.
Jacob Young, yeah. First pitch in there for a strike.
96th percentile at the plate. All right, throwing strikes. That's good.
That's important.
He's thrown some bad 0-2 pitches though too so far this year. So gotta execute here.
Okay.
There you go. It's a good 0-2 pitch. It's a good 0-2 pitch.
Popped him up. Don't let Abrams tag. Let's go, Dane. Make a throw.
Yeah.
No tag. Nice. There we go. One down.
It's a big one.
They're all big at this point in the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the first one with the runner staying at second, though. Just a little extra juice.
A little extra. All right, Lyle, 1 for 3 on the game.
A little extra juice.
RBI and a strikeout.
That's a great pitch.
Michael Rolfe with a $10 super chat. Oh, no. Oh, Tony. Oh, Tony. My God.
He might need to go to Louisville at this point.
83-mile-an-hour slurve. 106 miles per hour out to right field. 410 feet. Nats lead 8-6.
He admired that.
I mean, how can you not? That ball was crushed.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect it. I'm a fan of that. Oh, Tony. Well, gotta try to keep him. At least have the tying run still at the plate. Did Sal make the last out?
Yeah.
Was it Steer?
It'll be Bleday, Steer, Low.
Yeah, I mean, you're one swing away from tying the game back up in your small ballpark, so you got to hold him.
Yep. These last 2 outs become even more important.
Has Sam Moll thrown a ton? I know he wasn't very good last night, but Sam Moll had thrown 13. Threw 13 pitches yesterday, 17 on Sunday. I mean, Lyle was the most dangerous batter, I think, up. Unless Joey Weimer is actually for real, which I don't know if I buy that. Would have had a left on left.
Popped him up.
All right.
Blake Dunn underneath it. 2 down.
Blake Dunn drew up 5th in the inning with Hayes and Trevino on the bench. Why did Dunn come in the game? I didn't catch it.
Came in to pinch hit for Friedel in the 6th.
Oh, okay.
All right, Luis Garcia. All right, Blake Dunn with another one.
All right. They had a lefty on the mound. I wonder if they try to get one more out with Blade up first.
Or do they leave a lefty in, Blade steer low?
Yeah. Yeah, you could. I mean, Steers crushed lefties this year, so that'd be a good match.
I know.
For him, but you have two lefties, so
yeah. Either way, you'd like to think the Reds are going to get at least one good matchup to be able to try and take advantage of having Sal Stewart out there on second base.
My 5 cents Washington Nationals insight would be I probably would leave the lefty if he's still good. I'd have him face Blade. If he gets Blade out, I'd probably keep him in. They're making a change. They're going to another lefty. So
there you go.
So we will for sure all have a lefty face. That is good news, though, if it somehow got to Stevenson and Dunn and McLean.
Yep.
All 3 of them hit lefties much better. So
PJ Pullen into the.
Is this his first outing of the year?
No, he's 6th outing of the year. But doing some long relief, it appears, because he's got 20 games. He started 5 games. Must have been their opener though, because he's appeared in 20 games and thrown 19 innings, even though he's got 5 starts.
Looking for his 3rd career save. Has 4 career blown saves. No, I mean, a lot of those might be in the 8th inning, but
yeah, 1 for 3 on the year in save opportunities. 3.32 ERA. He's 3-0 on the year. Sal Stewart officially out at second base, and JJ Blade will in fact face Pullen. Pullen? What do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay, great.
I don't care enough to look up.
Trevino and Hayes left on your bench if there was any value at any point in either one of those. I'm not really sure what that value would be, but just sharing.
Hayes does have better career numbers against lefties than
Stop it.
I mean, he does. I don't think he would actually pinch hit.
No.
But.
All right. 2-1 to Blade. Rolf, I know you super chatted that before everything happens. But can I get a Reds leadoff bunt to start the bottom of the 10th? It works none of the time, all the time.
All right.
We're getting a challenge here.
They might get this one.
Did it catch the bottom of the zone? Let's see. 3-1 if it didn't. 2-2 if it did. It did. 2-2.
It's a good challenge. All
right, JJ, stay hot.
41 points higher in OPS.
Out of the way. Ooh, Hayes is 41 points higher?
Yeah, than Nate Lowe.
In OPS against left-handed pitching?
Yeah, for his career.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, there's zero chance he would bench it, but
yeah. One down. Sal stole third? Okay. Not that it really matters, but
did he get it? That would be his 10th, I think, because he
just stole
9.
third.
Well, they didn't give it fielders indifference.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the whole rule on that.
Game Day hasn't even acknowledged that he's on. Well, I mean, it acknowledged that he's on third, but it didn't say how he got there. Just says Sal Stewart to third.
Yeah. Official scores trying to determine.
Trying to see where they holding him on, all that stuff. Come on, Steer, do some damage. Not on that pitch. That's out of the zone. Whew. Buy him.
All right.
Battle.
All right.
Full count.
He stayed alive.
Look at that pup. Bark at the park
bed.
night. I know.
Get me out of here.
Dog's not the only one. Steer! Oh, that's going to be fan interference. Oh, no. Oh, no.
What's the rule on that ground rule double?
Ground rule double. Sal scores. Wow, Spence. Gave it a ride. I mean, I assume they'll automatically review that, but
Yeah,
pretty confident that was going to be a fan interference on that.
That dude
But
could have cost it because it might have bounced up. I think Sandlin was saying that.
Yeah, because Wood was pretty close to the wall there. I mean, that bounces off. Oh, that's the other piece of that. That ball might have been gone because,
but I think
yes, he reached over, but like you have to.
They have to call fan interference on that, I think.
I mean, they're going to review it just to see. It's basically what was the trajectory of the ball? What would have happened if the fan wasn't there? But yeah, you got James Wood right there next to the wall. I mean, if that ball caroms away, Steer might. I think you're going to leave that as it was called on the field. But man, if that fan doesn't interfere there, I think you're talking about a much different story. Man. They're reviewing it. I think you're going to get a stands here on this, though.
They call it a home run?
No, they called it a double.
They called it
fan interference. Yep.
Yeah, I think that you have to stick with that. Man.
Yeah. Calling the play confirmed.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. You.
Oh.
It's tough, man. Look. First of all, he's going to be thrown out of the game. He's going to miss the end of whatever happens here. But who knows what happens if he lets that ball go? It was right at the top of the wall. You don't know if that's going to bounce over. You don't know if that's going to carry him away from James Wood. Like, man.
What a season, man.
All right, Nate Lowe. Come on, Nathaniel.
Hell of an at-bat by Steer. Down 0-2.
Yeah, so you got Lowe here, and then you got Tyler Stevenson on deck.
Lefty killer Blake Dunn in the hole.
Ground ball right side, advances the runner. Steer will get to third. But you've got 2 outs now for Tyler Stevenson. Reds trail 8-7.
Bring in a right-handed pitcher.
I think you have to.
I mean, with 3 straight righties on deck, you got no one.
And nobody on the bench. So, yeah, you're. Do we want to talk about this Grand Slam from earlier, Nick, while we're on the pregame show and talk about your little.
Someone might have put a Tyler Stevenson home run with a little promo that if the player hits a Grand Slam, you share a little pot. Yeah. Shout out Ballpark, pal. Sponsor us.
Whoa, are they leaving him in?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Wow. All right. Come on, Tyler.
How about a wild pitch? That's probably what they were talking about.
Leave it. This is a crazy question, Nick. Are you pitching around Stevenson a little bit here to face Dunn, even though Stevenson's the go-ahead run, or are you?
I mean, I'd be bringing
going after Stevenson
and going after
Stevenson. Right, I know.
Well, to be honest, I think I almost would more pitch around if I had a right-handed pitcher and I
would someone warming up in the bullpen,
right against Dunn. But I mean, Dunn has really good numbers of his career in the minors against lefties.
Yeah, It almost feels like you'd be pitching around him here, but taking the time and not intentionally walking him so that you can get your right-hander up and warming. But because Tyler Stephenson's not going to be motoring around the bases here. It's going to take a little bit to get him in.
Yeah.
But strike at the bottom of the zone, 2-1.
If I'm living and dying with the lefty, I would go after Stevenson. If I have a right-handed pitcher, I would not go after Stevenson.
Okay.
Because I would take my chances
3-1.
that Blake Dunn right on right could drive in 2 runs.
Right.
But I wouldn't take my chance right on left. Or left on right. Yeah, you know.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah, they were.
All right. No, that was an unintentional walk. And now the question is, who did they have warming up and who's coming in to face Blake Dunn? Surely somebody. Nope. Guess not.
All right, Blake Dunn, let's have a moment. They're showing you no respect, Blake. Right.
Ball down low. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. Reds trail 8-7 to the Nationals in the bottom of the 10th. It's Blake Dunn at the plate. 1 ball is the count. Big opening on the right side of the infield. Ooh. Wear it, kid.
He's worn a lot of them.
McLean on deck.
I think Blake Dunn's been hit in the head 3 times in his pro career.
I know, that was scary too. As a couple of them were like pretty close together, weren't they?
Yeah. He had one last year at Louisville that was horrific. Good take.
Leave
Good
it.
Take. This is. I really wish the Reds broadcast would show the Nationals bullpen. Like, have they shown it at all? Like, it kind of feels like a pretty big aspect of this game.
I'm sure Sadek's talking about it, if anybody's warming up or not. There's a strike.
All right, here's your pitch, Blake.
I'm not gonna.
Don't miss it.
Not gonna pull up the chat to know.
Don't miss it.
Ground ball up the middle. Beat it out, Blake. Beat it out, Blake. I mean,
they're not even going to challenge it.
And a bench to bench. Change hit in the air to deep right field. That goes to Lindsay. And the save. He's done. Get out of here, baseball. He's gone. Oh, my God. Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep. In the dirt. It's a wild pitch. Here comes Walker. The Reds win the pennant. Perkins won the game. That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none. Welcome, Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Chatterbox is a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club. Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb.
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Red win! Win! Line to right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed the no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
Well, Nick, it got exciting early, got exciting late. Didn't go the Reds' way. Reds fall 8-7 to the Washington Nationals in 10 innings. Welcome in, everybody. Chatterbox Reds. I'm Craig Sandlin, joined by Nick Kirby. Nick, Tito rolled out a new lineup on Wednesday and seemed to be paying dividends early in this one, and then it kind of went cold. Bullpen gave up a couple runs. Nick Lodolo wasn't his best, and ends up with Washington taking the first 2 of the series, and now Reds finding a way to just try to salvage a game on Thursday.
Yeah, the Washington Nationals have the Reds number. What is that? 4-17 in their last whatever that is. So, yeah, Washington has certainly owned the Reds. Good night from the offense. Put up 7 runs with Nick Lodolo on the mound. You expect to win, but his pitching staff just not getting it done. And that was supposed to be the strength of this team, and it's nowhere near a strength right now.
No, it is not. And, obviously the bullpen was expected not to be a strength, I guess is the best way to put it. They started the season extremely hot, though, and I think gave a lot of us this kind of false hope in terms of being able to get the job done. The starting rotation, on the other hand, a lot of people thought was going to be the strength of the Reds, and injuries, performances that haven't met expectations, a lot of things that haven't gone the Reds' way so far here in 2026, especially in May. They're going to have to find some solutions. We had a free agent signing earlier in the day on Wednesday. We'll talk about that on the back half of the show. But in general, disappointing start to the series when you're talking about a team that you'd like to think you should be able to beat. We knew offensively that Washington was going to bring a challenge because they're pretty good offensively, but their pitching is not good. And unfortunately, neither has the Reds pitching been good so far in this series. So frustrating nonetheless, and move on to Thursday and see if you can't pick up a W. Any other thoughts before we get into box score recap and the bulk of the show?
No, let's do it.
Let's do it. Indeed. All right. All right, Chatterbox Reds, brought to you by Sharefax Credit Union. With the weather finally cooperating, it's time to start those home renovations. Sharefax has a $0 closing cost special until May 31st for home equity loans and lines of credit. Restrictions may apply. Contact Sharefax for details at 513-753-2440 or visit sharefax.org. Sharefax Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender and is insured by NCUA NMLS 414408. Game 2 of 3 at Great American Ballpark between the Reds and Nationals on Wednesday night brought a matchup between Jake Irvin and Nick Lodolo. Reds rolled out a new lineup on Wednesday, and it paid off early. After Nick Lodolo struck out the side in the top of the first inning, Ellie De La Cruz singled and scored on a J.J. Bleday double. Spencer Steer and Nathaniel Lowe then walked to load the bases, and Tyler Stevenson hit a grand slam deep to left field. The Reds had a 5-0 lead after one. Unfortunately, the Nationals got most of the runs back in the top of the second as Lodolo allowed 2 doubles and a single before Keibert Ruiz hit a 2-run home run to make it 5-4 Reds. Washington tied the game in the top of the third on a bases-loaded walk. The Reds' 15th bases-loaded walk of this young season. TJ Friedl scored on a throwing error by CJ Abrams on what should have been an inning-ending double play in the bottom of the inning. Reds take a 6-5 lead after 3. Lodolo would be pulled after just 4 innings. Final line on the day: 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. TJ Antone allowed 2 singles in the 5th, with Jacob Young scoring on a ground out by Luis Garcia to make it 6-6. Ellie doubled to lead off the bottom of the 7th and advanced to third on a Sal Stewart ground out, but Spencer Steer double play ended the threat. Matt McClain doubled to lead off the 9th, but was stranded there. Into extra innings we went. Tony Santillan allowed a 2-run home run to Dalen Lyle in the 10th. Nats led 8-6. Spencer Steer doubled on a fan interference, which scored Sal Stewart. Ball looked like it was borderline between a home run and bouncing back in play. It was reviewed and confirmed to be fan interference. Reds trailed 8-6 at the time. Nathaniel Lowe grounds out. Tyler Stevenson walks, and then Blake Dunn grounds out to end the game. Nationals win 8-7. Reds now just 1 game over 500 at 22-21.
All right, our deep drive of the day, sponsored by our friends at QC Kinetix. If knee pain or shoulder pain is slowing you down, whether it's on the golf course, the pickleball court, or even in the gym, it might be time to talk to the care team at QC Kinetix Cincinnati about regenerative medicine options. QC Kinetix takes a different approach, focusing on treatments designed to heal your body and recover. They're conveniently located in Liberty Township, right across from Lakota East High School. See what the team at QC Kinetix is all about? Visit QCKinetix.com or call 513-655-3356. And our deep drive of the day, Tyler Stevenson hit his 3rd home run of the year, and it was a grand slam, 105.5 off the bat, 406 feet. Put the Reds up 5-0 with a 89.5% win probability.
Fortunately turned into 0% win probability. But let's talk about that offense, Nick. A lineup that I think got a lot of people excited, if we're being honest. Will Benson leading off, Ellie De La Cruz batting 2nd, Sal Stewart 3rd, J.J. Bleday 4th, Spencer Steer hit 5th, Nathaniel Lowe 6th, Tyler Stevenson, Friedl, and McClain rounded out the lineup. And it worked pretty well here to start the game. You know, you get the 5 runs in the first inning. You think, oh man, we're off and going, and ended up going a little bit cold. But your initial thoughts when the lineup came out, and then now that things have played out, your thoughts on how it worked out.
Yeah, it's certainly much better. I mean, long overdue. I don't think we're going to give anyone a pass for waiting this long to make an obvious change. But it was better, and it worked tonight. I don't think that there's necessarily some big correlation that you change the lineup and it was the magic reason why you produced 5 runs. I don't believe in that, but I think it definitely gives your team a better chance, and just, when you're facing a guy like Jake Irvin, you're facing a very mediocre right-handed starting pitcher. Like, you just put more dangerous pitchers at the top, more dangerous hitters at the top of the lineup. You make it tougher on Jake Irvin. You don't give him opportunities for, easy outs. Let's call them what they are. So yeah, I mean, I definitely liked it a lot better. And I'm sure we'll get into probably, like pinch hitting for Benson. I didn't really have a problem with that. It was a platoon move, and Dane Myers crushes lefty. Just wish there was some consistency with some of these moves. I don't really understand. There's not really a lot of consistency with a lot that's done around the Cincinnati Reds these days.
Well, let's talk about that, because we are literally less than 24 hours after Terry Francona in his post-game press conference just yesterday, when talking about Ke'Bryan Hayes, said, quote, "If we start a guy and start hitting for him in the third or fourth inning, we probably shouldn't have played him to begin with." Well, here we are 24 hours later. It's almost like Terry listens to these reporters and he starts to get these ideas, and he's like, all right, well, let's show them what they want and see how it plays out. But Will Benson gets pinch hit for in the fourth inning. Dane Myers comes in. They went in a combined 0 for 5, so let's not act like it really mattered either way. But nonetheless, still interesting that he's going to sit here and say, well, why do we even play him if we're going to pinch hit for him in the fourth inning, and then turn around and not do anything about it later on in the game. And keep in mind, at that point, the game was a one-run game. The Reds had a 6-5 lead. I thought it was interesting. They also pinch hit for TJ Friedel in the sixth inning, I believe, for Blake Dunn. But it's interesting because what it does is that's a long time to have to rock with a certain lineup, and it left you with a bench that basically was nothing, right? You had Ke'Bryan Hayes and Jose Trevino left on your bench, and in certain moments where maybe you wish you would have had somebody that you could turn to, you're left without really anybody to turn to. And part of that is roster construction, like the fact that Hayes and Trevino are on your roster and you have zero interest in ever giving them at bats is one problem. But I don't know. It's not like I had a problem with it per se. Neither one of them would have batted in the 10th inning. So I don't know. But Dane Myers also failed to lay down that bunt in the 9th when the Reds were trying to pick up a win in regulation.
Yeah, I don't really have an issue. I mean, I generally lean on the side of be aggressive with your pinch runner, with your pinch hitters. Both. I think when Benson was pulled, the Reds still had the lead, but I think they were only up a run, if memory serves me correct. So it was still a close game. You're still trying to add on offense, and that was a good matchup for Dane Myers in that spot against a middle reliever lefty. It's a good spot. Same thing for Blake Dunn. So I don't have an issue with that. I don't even really have an issue yesterday with Ke'Bryan Hayes batting. They were only down a run. It was very early in the game. If I was playing MLB The Show, I probably would have pinch hit. But in real life baseball, it was early in the game. Ke'Bryan is able to hit a sacrifice fly, or let's just, the shortstop bobbles the ball, only gets one out. No one's even really talking about that Ke'Bryan Hayes spot. I don't think as much at the end of the game. So I don't really have an issue with really any of the moves. It's just the logic in what's said at these post games. It's crazy to me, and I guess I need to harken back a little bit to some of the things I've said before, which is managers are just completely full of crap and don't listen to what they say post game. Tito felt different in that regard. It felt like he was more of the straight shooter, but I think he's also kind of falls into the David Bell, the typical manager of a lot of what he says is just complete and utter crap. And it's just you're just answering questions and trying not to he didn't build success, but you're trying not to make big headlines or whatever.
I do want to talk about the pregame quote. Obviously, we already talked about the quote from last night. Quote from Tito prior to the game, when asked about the lineup, he said, quote, "Me, Freddie, Knapp, Brad Meter, we were all in here last night, and I kind of said, let me hear it. And just to be truthful, it's a little challenging right now. We have a number of guys that aren't hitting like they have or will, And I do value consistency and I value patience. I also value winning a lot. And sometimes you try to balance that, and it's sometimes a little easier than others. I want to start by saying that I recognize that front offices are often involved in lineup decisions, player availability decisions, a lot of those conversations. Do you think that the fact that Brad Meter was involved in that conversation after, what was it, like last week when Tito kind of talked about the same thing where it was just him, Knapp, and Freddie making lineup cards? Do you think him being a part of it is anything we should be reading into, whether that's the front office wanting more of a say in how players are used, or maybe there was a different conversation going on about players at Louisville that maybe can help this team, or anything along those lines? Do you read anything into that quote from Tito before the game?
Not really. There's been a lot of conversations before about how Brad Meter's down in the clubhouse, and maybe if it could be just completely baloney, but Tito said, Meter said, Krall said they have this very open, conversation. They're always talking almost after every game. So I don't think it was that. I mean, Meter might have suggested it, but make no mistake, Terry Francona calls the shots in this organization, especially with lineups. So if he didn't want to change it, I don't think Brad Meter's coming down there and changing his mind. I don't think he would have taken the job with the Cincinnati Reds if it was otherwise. So I don't know, maybe Meter was a little more like pretty pleased, like maybe, but ultimately it was Tito, and something pressured him into it. But I don't think it was the Reds front office.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I literally the day before Will Benson hit leadoff for the first time, I had mentioned on this show about Will Benson hitting leadoff. It happened the next day. There's been a lot of conversation about guys like Edwin Arroyo, guys like Ellie De La Cruz getting more at bats, and Sal Stewart, and moving TJ Friedl down in the lineup. And, Friedl today, of course, gets pinch hit for pretty early, but 0 for 1 in the game with a hit by pitch. I mean, realistically, that's what you're looking for when you move a guy down in the 8th, is to only get 2 plate appearances and not have to worry about them hurting your team too much. So I like the lineup. I thought it was interesting that Meter was involved, but maybe it's a nothing burger. I do like now that Friedel's been moved down the lineup a little bit. Hopefully he can get hot and maybe he'll return to the starting lineup. What do you I guess part of the conversation is like, I know your answer because we've seen your answer multiple times. In case you forgot, here's Kirby's preferred lineup that will show for the 3rd straight show. But I guess, like, realistically, I'm trying to think through what is a sustainable lineup for this team. And I'd love to see something like this just continue to get run out multiple times and actually like see if something can stick. Do you think that's something that'll possibly happen? Or do you think we're just going to continue to get this quote unquote lineup bingo, and every couple of days we're going to change things up, hoping that something eventually sticks outside of Ellie De La Cruz?
Well, they're facing a lefty on Thursday, so it won't be exactly this, but my guess is part of the process is that Benson and Myers would be your top of the lineup guy. And again, the most important thing for me, and really the only thing that I really genuinely feel so passionate about, is like I want Ellie De La Cruz and Sal Stewart batting in the first inning. I want them guaranteed to bat. So if it's 1-2 or 2-3, whatever, I don't really care. So that's the most important thing. So that has been solved. The rest of it can really shake out however. I just want those guys to get in at bat in a first inning, as I've talked many times. When a pitcher's trying to settle in the game, make it tougher on them. Don't let them, okay, I got through the first inning. My command was a little off, but I was able to, get 3 outs. I didn't even have to face Sal Stewart. Like, at least you have to face Sal Stewart. So, I would go with Ellie leadoff, but Benson Myers, especially like the Myers side of it, like Myers batting first. The nice thing about that is, like, I'm sure he's batting first tomorrow. I feel pretty confident in that. The nice thing is he hits lefties very, very well, and you're going to force the opposing manager to have to face him the most amount of times. And so you're going to get him the most opportunities for success, which is, like I think the biggest part of a lineup is trying to put players in spots where they can be the most successful. So, yeah, I like it. I'd have Ellie first, but it's like something that I think is like such a nothing burger. At least he has him second. At least he has Sal third.
Okay, so you're pretty confident that Dane Myers will be the leadoff hitter tomorrow.
Yeah, I would say it's Myers, Ellie, Sal, probably Steers fourth, and then you'll I'm sure see Brian Hayes in there tomorrow. Probably will see Blake Dunn in there tomorrow as well for Friedel. I would assume if you're pinch hitting for Friedel and you're making him a straight platoon player, I would assume that means Blake Dunn's in there tomorrow. But I guess I shouldn't assume really anything with the way some lineups have been working.
Yeah, who knows? All right, I want to talk about Tyler Stevenson. Obviously, he got the damage going here in the first inning tonight with the grand slam. First of all, great to see him finally get back on the board. It felt like it had been a while since we had seen much from Tyler Stevenson. Now hitting 187 on the year with a 593 OPS. So I'm trying not to get like overly excited about this, right? But he's a guy that we talked about this offseason needs to be a big piece of the pie when you're talking about this Reds offense. And he hadn't hit a home run since April 6th. April 6th was his last home run. I'm not going to try and do the math quickly on how many at-bats it had been, but that's a long time to go between home runs. I was glad to see him finally get one. He's a guy that's got to be producing more than he is right now if this Reds team really wants to have some success moving forward.
Yeah, and there was definitely some metrics with Tyler Stevenson that were, encouraging towards some sort of positive regression with him. Nice to see him pull a home run. He doesn't pull the ball enough. I know that's kind of a common theme. But yeah, I mean, like the Reds desperately need a guy like Tyler Stevenson. Just to be like the guy he was last year. I mean, last year he had a 737 OPS for a catcher. That's well above average. That's desperately what you need. So yeah, I mean, him hitting a home run is just a positive sign. You hope that he can kind of carry that. I assume he's probably off tomorrow. But you know what? To be honest, Craig, I wouldn't mind DHing him tomorrow. Assuming you're going to play Trevino, I don't think the Reds have enough good hitters against right-handed pitching right now that I wouldn't have an issue with DHing Tyler Stevens, especially like he had a good night. Like try to let him capitalize on that. And I think that he's definitely the Reds' best lineup against left-handed pitching certainly has him in it. So I'm going to advocate for Tyler Stevenson to DH on Thursday afternoon, 12:40 p.m. Eastern.
We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, it was good to see. And the other piece that I wanted to talk about with Tyler Stevenson, and I think we've kind of mentioned this over the course of the last couple of weeks, but behind the dish feels like, we talked about Jose Trevino and his defensive ability, and between just in general, it feels like he's a brick wall back there right now. He's not letting a whole lot of balls get by him, but more importantly, kind of a stud on ABS of late. He's now on the year, if my math is correct, 22-8 on challenges, top 5 in the league in terms of overturns versus expected. He was 3-1 tonight. He's now had 6 strikeouts flipped due to his challenges, including, if I remember correctly, 2 of them to end the ball game. Defense has never really been something that we talk about with Tyler Stevenson because he hasn't traditionally been very good. You probably have numbers that are going to tell me, oh, well, actually he hasn't been that good this year except for ABS. But your thoughts on Tyler Stevenson behind the dish as a catcher so far this year, even though offensively it hasn't come together for him?
Yeah, you're spot on with blocking steel wall behind the plate. He's 90 7th percentile in blocks above average. And this is after last year. He was really good, 95th percentile last year. But this was not something that Stevenson was good at. If those who've watched Chatterbox a long time might remember in 2023 and 2024, a certain co-host of the show might have gone on Tyler Stevenson a little bit for his inability to block behind the plate. And the StatCast metrics completely back that up. I mean, this guy was legitimately one of the worst catchers in baseball. So I don't know what the hell happened between 2024 and 2025. Maybe he watched a lot of Chatterbox Reds and said, hey, I got to clean this up. I can't have this guy ripping me every night. But no, he has been significantly better. Stevenson's biggest issue throughout the course of his career has been framing. The framing numbers are really bad for him, but the ABS is an equalizer. It's not a complete equalizer because framing is still quite prevalent in this game, especially when teams are too scared to use challenges, which I probably have Steer on the back half, but you got to give Steer a lot of credit for a pretty ballsy challenge in the first inning to extend that at bat that actually got Tyler Stevenson to the plate for the grand slam. So you see how big of a weapon it can be, and that was it was a close pitch for Steer, so that was risky. Also, just so early in the game, it risky in terms of what the Reds' narrative has been about this, but it was something that completely swung this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at it, and the one that he lost was like a late inning challenge that realistically I don't know that he would have challenged. Otherwise, it was in the 10th inning. The ball was an inch and a half off the plate, so it probably wasn't even a ball they would normally challenge. But and then but yeah, Spencer Steer picked up that challenge in the first inning that completely changed things and gave Tyler Stevenson that chance to hit the grand slam, and it was a big moment. And I'm not sure Steer's numbers on the year on ABS. Maybe you just said it and I blanked out for a second, but offensively, this team has not been very good at the challenge, but maybe I'm jaded by guys like Dane Myers who have been terrible at it. But Steer's 2-1. That was his first challenge win of the year. Actually, he was 0-2 coming into it tonight. So, all right. Final thoughts on Ty, Steve? Anything?
No, I think we covered it all.
All right, let's get into some super chats, and they are coming in. The ubiquitous KMC with a $5 super chat. This was going to be a big year for Chatterbox with an exciting Reds team. Now y'all got to grind through the bull games like this. Well, there 162 games, Nick. There's always going to be bull games like this. The first month of the season was a lot of fun. This last 13 days or so has not been a lot of fun. Let's hope that there's more days like there were in April moving forward than there has been in May, but can still be a big year for Chatterbox because we have such a great following and Nutcutter Nation supports us awesome. And hey, don't forget the Cincinnati Bengals are going to the Super Bowl this year, so it's still going to be a big year for Chatterbox. Michael Rolfe with the $10 super chat. Well, we have our very own Red Steve Bartman. You want to save that for the back half, or you want to talk about it now?
I'm not editing this, so just go ahead.
Well, I mean, 10th inning, Spencer Steer hits a deep drive to left field, and umpire reviewed it, ruled fan interference. We watched it. We talked about it when we were live in the 10th inning. The tough part about it is you don't know what's going to happen to that ball after it bounces. And it was so high up on the wall that, first of all, I don't know for sure that it wasn't going to get out. I know they quote unquote confirmed it. But man, James Wood was right underneath it. And that ball could have very easily bounced away, and Spencer Steer could have either been on third or even better. Who knows? But yeah, that was not good. And the other thing that rubbed me the wrong way on this, and this is me probably being a little bit of a Karen, is the fan didn't even seem to care. Like very little
I don't think he had any clue
remorse.
what was going on. I don't think he understood.
Well, I hope he looks back on this and realizes what could have been.
Yeah, I don't want to crush a guy that I'm sure wasn't fully thinking all the way through. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely a costly thing. Yeah, you laid it out. I mean, there definitely was possible that ball bounces up. It's also possible James Wood, not a good outfielder, bobbles the ball. He gets on third base. You're a ground ball away from tying the game. Yeah, that was bad. That was really ugly. But I'm not going to sit here and crush a guy that made a mistake like that. I think we all could. I will say, thankfully, he had a kid with him. Like, if it would have been a grown man with a glove without a kid, I probably would be a little bit more agitated at the situation. But he had a kid next to him, trying to make a catch, trying to probably impress his kid. Not going to kill a guy like that, but it was costly. I don't think you can say it wasn't.
Yeah. Things that we'll never know what would have happened. Just add it to the list of what could have been, what might have been. And yeah, like you said, I mean, he had a kid with him reaching over, potentially partially trying to protect the kid because that ball was like off to the fan's side. Maybe he thought that it was going to hit the kid or that it would bounce and hit him. Who knows? But yeah, it's a little bit of remorse would have gone a long way for me. And like a lot of times in those situations, you see the fan like very clearly like realize, oh shoot, I messed up, and like put their hands on their head or like do something to acknowledge the fact that they messed up, and he didn't.
I think this is me trying to get inside the head. I think that he thought that by him catching, he probably didn't know the rule. I think he thought by him catching it that he probably helped the Reds out. Like, because remember, just say you're a casual baseball fan. Remember the Derek Jeter Baltimore Orioles one? Like, back before there was replay, like that fan actually literally won the game for the Yankees. So that might have been like what was going through his head, is that type of thing where he thought that he actually probably helped the Reds. And maybe people around him were cheering like, yeah, man, I think it's people who just didn't understand the severity of what happened.
Yeah. Who knows? I'm going to assume that this next super chat is a joke. We're not going to read it because we don't condone violence or anything else. But Luna Russ, I appreciate the $5, but just because the fan messed up and I'm mad at him doesn't mean that we're going to do anything negative to him. So, amazing one. Do we really think Friedel is better than Marte?
I don't.
Is it really that much of a conversation? I mean, I think it's really more so about Tito, having loyalty issues that you guys talked about last night for extensive periods of time. So I'm not going to get into it tonight, but yeah, he loves to rely on the guys that he feels are his guys. And, so that's how I'll say it. I'll say it and I'll leave it at that. But I think regardless of what happens to Friedel, I think it's going to take a lot more out of him to see Marte take his place. You're going to need to see an injury to somebody else or somebody else struggle or whatever. I don't think Friedel is even like in consideration for the guy that Noelvi Marte would replace on this roster.
Yeah, and I think you just have to hope Friedel turns this around, because it feels like it would have to get really, really ugly, even more so than normal, than it currently is, for them to actually do something drastic and completely take him out of the lineup. So whether you want Marte or not, I mean, Friedel's who the Reds are going to live and die with.
Yeah. All right. Big Red Machine. Everything changes for the better on active roster when Gino comes back. So who gets sent down or DFA'd?
When Gino comes back.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to DFA anybody, right? Because unless you're sending somebody down that doesn't have options, but
which there's plenty of options. My guess is Blake Dunn, because that would put Sear back in the outfield. I think that's
right.
I think that's probably pretty cut and dry. I mean, unless Blake Dunn just, absolutely, tomorrow has a 3-for-3 day. I don't even think that probably keeps him. Yeah, it's Blake Dunn. I think that's probably
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Bearcat Alex, people need to chill out about this fan. Let's blame Lodolo and Santillan and our poor clutch hitting for losing instead of a fan who caught a ball. And that's kind of a good lead in to the back half, Kirby. But first, we want to take a second, as we always do, to remind you that you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. Where's the graphic? There we go. Call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay. All right. Kind of leads us into this back half, and man, it's a loaded start to this back half, to say the least. But I probably should have left this as Lodolo, and we can talk about the other piece of news in a couple minutes as well along these same lines. But Lodolo tonight, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Not really the best outing from Lodolo. Threw 87 pitches in those 4 innings. Didn't seem to have his best command, and certainly didn't seem to be getting a whole lot of chase out of Washington's offense. Obviously you got the first inning was great. And then I almost wonder if Washington didn't pick something up, because after that first inning and getting 3 straight strikeouts, things turned around, and they turned around quickly. They put up a 4 spot in the second, get another run in the third. I think it was mainly command, because when Lodolo was throwing strikes, it was meatballs. But your thoughts on Lodolo's appearance tonight?
Yeah, that first inning, man. Oh, yeah, here we go. We desperately needed this. And, man, the Reds just desperately need someone to step up with Chase Burns. And I think now probably fairly Andrew Abbott as well after his last 2 starts. And then, yeah, it just went downhill. Yeah, I think you might be onto something. It definitely seemed like there was maybe a possibility he was tipping his pitches, or there was just something that he wasn't doing after that first inning. The Nats caught up on. It just sucks because, Lodolo, it's his second start of the year after a really rocky, start to the season. And he needs time, but the Reds just don't have time. And it just is kind of the theme with this team, where there are multiple spots where guys do kind of need some time, but there's just not enough good pieces to hold the line until guys like Lodolo can figure it out, till guys like Santillan can figure it out. And so, yeah, I mean, the first inning is encouraging. I was kind of surprised when I looked up and saw that he actually did have 14 swing and misses. Didn't feel like he got that many. Maybe 8 of those were in the first inning. But yeah, it's just not good enough, and the Reds need more right now.
Yeah. The Nationals had 6 hard hit balls against Nick Lodolo, and then only 1 hard hit ball for the next 5 innings. Obviously, they got big hard hit ball off of Santillan in the 10th, but only 1 hard hit ball for the next 5 innings. Makes me wonder if they didn't have a little bit on Lodolo, because he's not a guy that normally just gets pounded like he did tonight. Velocity was down on his on a majority of his pitches a little bit, not significant, but a mile an hour or so here or there. 35% whiff rate though, 14 whiffs on 40 swings. I don't know. It's hard to know. Just from what I saw is that the balls that were out of zone were not competitive at all. That was what stood out to me, is that there were a lot of non-competitive pitches. And then when it was in the zone, it was getting hammered. So I don't know for sure what happened. I can't say for sure, but when you look at his kind of pitch chart and what happened, a lot of these balls were right in the zone for people to hit, and they hit them hard. And that's not going to get the job done. He's got to get people chasing, and if he's tipping pitches at all, they're not going to chase, because if they know what's coming, it's a lot easier to lay off those pitches. So, anything else on Lodolo? Anything stand out to you?
I think Lodolo and Francona both were talking about how, just made mistakes with 2 strikes, where he did actually kind of have them down, but threw a pitch. I think there was one of the pitches that was crushed was an 0-2 pitch that he left right over the heart of the plate, and part of that's just rust, and it's not something anyone wants to hear right now for a guy that's not been able to stay on the field, but that is what it is, and you just have to hope that, man, he can figure it out quick, because this team just desperately needs some starting pitching and pitching in general to step up.
Yeah, pitching in general as well includes the bullpen. Not terrible outings from Antone, Burke, and Ashcraft. Ashcraft walked the first batter he faced, but then got out of that inning without any issues. Brock Burke, 2 innings of just 1-hit baseball. Not bad there. Antone worked 2 innings, gave up the 1 run, struck out 2. Not a whole lot of hard hit balls against this bullpen at all. Just the one that I mentioned before, Santillan. But then you get to Santillan. And so I don't know if you want to start with the good with Antone, Burke, and Ashcraft. If you want to go straight to Santillan and talk about what your decision might look like with that conversation, because it's not good right now for Tony Santillan.
Yeah, let's start with the good. I'm a start with the good kind of guy to my detriment.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was probably the most encouraging night from the Reds bullpen in a long time, up until the 9th inning, or the 10th inning. I don't remember. The 10th. Yeah. The 10th inning. I mean, Antone, Burke, and Ashcraft, how about 5 innings only walking 1 batter? And that's been this team's detriment. Nick Lodolo would even mention, did you see that insane stat, Craig? The Reds have walked 15 batters with the bases loaded. It already passed 2022 for their most since 2022. So they've had more on May 13th than they had all of 2025, all of 2024, and all of 2023. That's nuts.
And I think this stat was that year they walked 17 batters with bases loaded. So they're going to pass that pretty soon too.
And that was a 100-loss team that was throwing out God knows who half the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the good. I mean, yeah, Antone looks legit. I mean, that is a huge deal, and I also love the fact that he can go multiple innings. Brock Burke also, you don't see a whole lot of left-handed pitchers that can go multiple innings. So maybe Brock Burke might be, probably Nate Lowe and JJ Bleday are there right now, but Brock Burke's probably the 3rd best move of the offseason right now to this point. He's been great, and Ashcraft just continues to be absolutely nails. So, yeah, I mean, those 3, at least you had 3 guys that you could really hang your hat on a bullpen that has been very, very bad of late. But Tony Santillan, it just doesn't look like he should be in the big leagues right now. I hate to say that. This guy was incredible last year, and the Reds ran him straight into the ground, so I think that probably is part of this. This guy was just, used last year, and maybe you're paying some of the price right now, but, I mean, he's just given up so many home runs, Craig. It just feels like he needs to go down. And it may need to be, it needs to be a minimum trip, right? Or maybe he needs a little courtesy IL stint instead of a full option. You know what I mean? But it just feels like right now, it's not working, and he needs to get right.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with the good, like you said. Brock Burke has allowed an earned run in only 1 of his last 13 appearances. Now, that one appearance was a bad appearance. It was the one that he went 1 inning, 6 hits, 5 runs against Pittsburgh in that blowout, terrible loss. But the other 12 outings, 0 earned runs to his credit. So definitely is looking better. He's picked up save opportunities during that stretch. Picked up a save back in April. A guy that Terry Francona has gone to kind of later in games to get some opportunities. So definitely a guy that seems like he has Terry Francona's trust, and that's a good thing. On the other side, Terry Francona, after the game today, talking about Tony Santillan, said, "We can't run from it. We need to get him going." How long can you afford to keep trying to get a guy going when he's been as bad as he's been of late? I mean, every single outing in the month of May, he's allowed an earned run.
It's not.
That's
like
not going to get it done for a guy who's supposed to be the back end of your bullpen.
It's not like he's, having some tough luck outings either. I mean, he's getting balls hit 10 rows up. I mean, Tony Santillan gave up his 7th home run of the season already tonight. He gave up 7 home runs in 80 games last year, Craig. Like, get him right. Like, at some point, you've seen enough. Like, I love Tony Santillan. Like, this guy was like the heart and soul of this team last year. But it kind of feels like we're holding on to the guys that have been the heart and soul of the team from a 83-win wild card team, and like let's just get him right. Like I think he can get right, but how is he going to get right in the big leagues? You either have to put him at the very back end of the bullpen if you really think like you can get him right here, or you have to send him down to AAA or a courtesy IL, whatever you want to call it. It's not good enough, man.
No, not good enough. You mentioned 7 home runs this year, 4 straight games allowing a home run, and he's allowed 5 home runs during that stretch. 4 straight games allowing a home run, and he's a guy that you're going to late in games. What I don't understand, and we can talk about the velocity being down. We can talk about all of the negative statistics in terms of the fact that he's not getting chase, he's not getting whiff, he's walking too many guys, he's giving up barrels at an unbelievable rate, hard hit balls, all those things. Why is he pitching in the 10th inning of a tie ball game after giving up a home run in 3 straight outings to begin with? Why are you going back to him in the 10th inning? That's the part that I don't understand, is like, if you want to try and get him right, when you don't do it in crunch time when it matters, throw him out there in the 6th or 7th inning if you really want to try and get him some outings that matter. Find some good matchups early on in the game where you can put him up against guys that you feel comfortable he can try and get out. Maybe get a little 1, 2, 3 inning under his belt. What you don't do is you throw him out there in the 10th inning with bad matchups. That's what I don't understand. And that's where Derek Johnson and Terry Francona need to do a little explaining for me, because how you continue to run them out there night in and night out in big situations. I get it. Emilio Pagan is out and injured right now. I get it. The bullpen in general is worn down and they're not throwing very well as a group right now anyway. But man, the dude's given up a home run in 4 straight outings now, and you put him out there with a man that starts on second base. Like, what are we doing? I don't get it, Nick. Explain it to me like I'm 5 years old, but makes no sense to me.
I think that their plan with him was to try to hide him in the bullpen for a little bit longer, and I think that was the usage tonight. That's why Antone went 2 innings. That's why Burke went 2 innings, and they had kind of mapped out through 9 innings a plan to get through 9 innings and avoid using Pierce Johnson through 25 pitches yesterday, avoid using Connor Phillips through 32 pitches yesterday, and I guess avoid Luis May, although I don't think you'd really want him in that spot. He threw 30 pitches yesterday anyways. But the problem, Craig, is on a big league roster, it's hard to hide relievers because you can't plan for everything. You can't plan for a game to go into extra innings, and then you're stuck with them. Either you're pitching a guy that you don't want to pitch that needs the rest, and that's a huge part of managing a bullpen is keeping guys like Pierce Johnson and Connor Phillips healthy and available and effective all year, but you just can't hide guys. It's just too hard, and that's why I think you need to. If it's up to me, I mean, like tomorrow, I'm saying, all right, Tony, either we can send you down to, we can option you to AAA, or you can go take a 10-day break and go to a rehab assignment. Like that's the choice for me.
Here's the struggle I have is you've got Caleb Ferguson who got rocked today. That ideally he would be ready to come back, make his Reds debut. You give Santillan that IL stint or whatever you decide. Maybe you send him to Louisville to try and figure it out. Maybe you put him on the IL for a little bit, whatever. Caleb Ferguson got rocked. You don't trust Zach Maxwell. Like, we're just in a position right now where, like, from a 40-man perspective, like, I don't know what the answer is, which is why my frustration with using him in the 10th inning, because if you're gonna use him, that's fine, but throwing him out there in the 10th inning is just not good enough. And that's the part that frustrates me. So I get it. Let's say that they watched Caleb Ferguson's outing. Was it yesterday? It wasn't today. He got rocked yesterday, not today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yesterday. Let's say they watched Caleb Ferguson's outing yesterday and they decided that's all right. We still want to bring him up to the big leagues. Do you even think Santillan would be the move, or do you think they would send Luis May back down to Louisville?
I think it would be Luis May, but I don't think that's right. And Santillan is kind of twofold. Like, part of it is just trying to get him right because you're going to need this guy this year. And it's hard to see a path right now where he's going to get right in the big leagues when he's giving up a home run every night. It's just, you have to think his confidence is pretty shot at this point. The move for me, Craig, right now would be, and he pitched, I think, 2 innings today, so today wouldn't be great, but the move for me would probably be, I would really like to get Lyon Richardson. He's pitched very, very well. Or there's another guy, Garcia, that's pitched really well. Preferably one of those two, and you probably have to DFA Kyle Nicholas or Zach Maxwell. I know Maxwell's not perfect, but Maxwell has had pitched much better of late. He got off to a really bad start at Louisville, but he at least has the stuff, and he's at least another guy. Again, Maxwell's replacing Tony Santillan in what should be the back-end role. But I still think I would trust Zach Maxwell right now in the 10th inning, if I had to go to him, than Tony Santillan. Because Maxwell might walk a bunch of guys, but I'm not. I at least don't think every other batter is going to be a home run right now.
Can't afford it. All right. Not necessarily bullpen news, but before we get to Spencer Steer, we might as well talk about the free agent signing from earlier today. Look, am I excited about Chris Paddock? Probably not. He's going to come in. He's going to start on Saturday, is what was announced now. Andrew Abbott will go on Friday. 0-5 with a 7.68 ERA on the year with the Miami Marlins, was DFA'd on the 5th, released on the 10th. Signs now with the Reds. You've had an afternoon and an evening now to think about it, Nick. Any updates to your thoughts from the video that we recorded earlier today?
I'm going to take the whole family to see Chris Paddock's debut in Cleveland on Saturday. So, yeah, what an experience that will be. Yeah, again, it was a fun headline. I mean, people really enjoyed signing a guy with a 7 ERA. But that's just where the Reds are at right now. They need innings, and yeah, I just hope that Paddock can help you survive, and hope even more that some of these guys can get healthy, whether it be Louder, whether it even be Petty at this point. Obviously, Hunter Green. This team is desperately missing Hunter Green, and I know he's just been out so long that I think people kind of forget about it. But I mean, Hunter Green, like at the end of the year, kind of in some ways helped carry this team to the playoffs, especially with that start against the Cubs. And I just think so much of this team feels different if you have Green and Burns right now. And even Abbott, the way he's pitched the last 2 years. I mean, it's just everything about this team feels so much better. This team is it's desperately missing Hunter Green. So I don't think we've had a real update on him. I think the timeline's still the same. Everything that he's been posting makes you feel like it's at least on a positive, similar trajectory. But yeah, this team desperately.
I think the biggest update we've gotten is that he's throwing 250 feet is the last we heard.
Yeah. The team desperately needs him back, and they need to somehow try to survive until he gets here. But that's becoming less and less optimistic.
Yeah. Well, Brett Lauder goes on the IL today, 15-day IL. Obviously, Brandon Williamson already went on the 60-day IL. Those are 2 guys that we talked in the preseason about being good depth for the Reds to be in Louisville or however they were managed. They end up getting thrown into the fire. Shoulders don't hold up. Something's got to give. You've only got so many pitchers that are available on a free agent market. You good?
I just looked up. The Cavs are playing in overtime. I thought the game was over. I was locked into the show. I don't know what happened. Let's go.
Well, there you
Let
go.
him know. Sorry.
You're good. But yeah, Chris Paddock gets the ball on Saturday. We'll see how that goes. Probably, let's just be honest, probably not a long-term answer here. Not something that I'm expecting him to still be pitching on this team come September or October, but who knows? You just never know how the things will go. So Chris Paddock, there's a video out there that Nick and I talked about his signing earlier today. Make sure you go watch that if you haven't already. Seems like a good time to remind you to like the stream. Give us a like. If you're listening to this in the podcast, go ahead and drop a 5-star review. Subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate it for sure. All right. I know you mentioned it earlier. You want to talk about Spencer Steer. Big challenge in the first. Big hit in the 10th. Hits now, Nick, in 14 of his last 15 games. He's not a guy that just like jumps off the screen at you, but like just right now at least, it's just a consistent dude that at least you can rely on to get on base a couple times a game. This is going to sound crazy to say because they're such different players, but like what Ellie De La Cruz has done so far this year, you know, we're talking about a guy who's hitting nearly 300. For Ellie De La Cruz, in terms of like what we came to expect from Ellie De La Cruz, maybe not jumping off the screen as much as some people would like him to. But Spencer Steer just very consistent, very similar to what Ellie De La Cruz has done this year in terms of just getting on base, creating havoc, and driving in runs.
He is crushing lefties. I mean, he's up to a 968 OPS against lefties, 343 on base percentage against lefties too. And he's held his own against righties. He's got a 716 OPS, which again, if he maintains a 716 OPS against righties, over a 900 against lefties, I mean, I think that's a full-time player to me. So, yeah, I mean, you look at this roster right now, you know, with Sal Stewart coming back down to earth, who would be hitting lefties if it wasn't for Spencer Steer? Stevenson, McLean, Cabrian, Blake Dunn, and Dane Myers. I mean, so yeah, I mean, like he balances this lineup so much, and that's just the biggest takeaway for me. And I just have so much confidence. Like, you know, he came up to the plate against a lefty. I feel about as confident with him against a lefty as about anyone on any sort of matchup right now on this team.
That's one of the questions I was going to ask you. Obviously, he came up in the 10th inning in this one, almost hit one out. Let's say you had bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, down a run in Game 7 of the World Series with the Cincinnati Reds roster as it sits right now. Spencer Steer's got to be at or near the top of your list in terms of guys that you want at the plate in that scenario right now.
If it's against a lefty, yeah.
Okay.
I would not say against.
Is there anybody higher on your list against a lefty right now that you'd want on the at the plate in that scenario?
It'd be him or Sal, but yeah, I mean, Steer has a long track record now of hitting lefties, so yeah, I'd probably say Steer would be the guy against lefties. Sal's
Who's
right
your guy
there.
against righties?
Ellie.
even the way that Elliott's hit the ball from the right side of the plate this year?
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't change
Ellie's
anything
bread
for
and
you?
butter is righties. You know, my sneaky guy. My sneaky
Oh,
guy
here we go.
would be Nate Lowe.
Okay. There you go. All right. Any final thoughts from Wednesday's 8? Well, I didn't update the bar apparently. 8-7 loss to the Washington Nationals.
No, that's why I put 0-0, and I don't until I don't do any of these mid show additions to the back half, because it'll always bite you.
Well, not to give a little behind the scenes here, but I may or may not have accidentally put it at 6-6 when I didn't realize I was on J-Bar 2. I thought it was on J-Bar 1. I did 6-6. Forgot to change it back.
Okay.
So you're right. Amateur. It's almost like I was texted in the middle of the game, asked to do the show or something. All right. We did have some MILB action on this Wednesday, Nick. Let's get into it. Give us an update on how things went down on the farm.
All right, we'll start off with AAA. The Louisville Bats, they won 6-5 over Indianapolis. Noelvi Marte, a walk-off sac fly. Your Louisville Bats now 24-17. Marte was 1 for 4. Resigns on base twice, 1 for 3 with the walk. Hector Rodriguez 0 for 4 with the walk. How about Avon Johnson, 2 for 4, hit his 7th home run of the year and doubled. Johnson now with a .402 on base percentage. He's got an even 1,000 OPS on the season. Michael Toglia also hit his 8th home run of the year. Edwin Arroyo got the day off. Lyon Richardson, another good outing from him. 2 shutout innings, struck out 5 batters in his 2 innings. Just walked 1, gave up 1 hit. Lyon Richardson now with a 2.74 ERA, 26 strikeouts, 10 walks in 23 innings. Trevor Kunsel had a rough day. He gives up 2 hits and a run in his 2/3 of an inning of work. Julian Garcia, this guy, we haven't talked about him a whole lot, but man, he's pitching really well. 2 hitless innings, struck out 5, only walked 1. He's got a 2.87 ERA, 24 strikeouts now in 15 2/3 innings pitched. He's a guy the Reds just picked up after he was released by the Phillies. All right, down at AA, the Chattanooga Lookouts, they won 8-7 over Pensacola. Lookouts snapped their 3-game losing streak. Big comeback. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th, capped off by a 3-run home run by Carlos Jorge. Lookouts now 22-13 on the season. Jorge was 2 for 5. That was his 4th home run of the year. Jorge hitting .330 on base percentage of .417, OPS over 900 in 24 games this season. Carlos Jorge, maybe the brightest spot in the Reds minor league system, at least maybe from expectations coming into the year. Cam Collier had a great day. He was on base 4 times, 2 for 2, 2 doubles and 2 walks. Leo Balcazar, 2 for 5, hit his 4th home run of the year. A rare off night for Austin Hendrick. He goes 0 for 4. Hunter Parks, he threw a perfect inning of relief. Hunter Parks has not allowed an earned run in 15 innings this season, only allowed 1 unearned run all season, 24 strikeouts and 9 walks. I have to wonder if he'll get promoted to AAA sooner rather than later. He actually got promoted to AAA last year at one point, but kind of struggled and back down to AA. The Lake County Captains beat our Dayton Dragons 16-6. This game went final during the show, so I don't have all of the details, but I'll do my best to get them to you. The Dragons now 19-16 on the season. Alfredo Duno homered for a 3rd straight game. He now has 5 on the year. Duno OPS now of 889, the 20-year-old out of high A. Carlos Sanchez was 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Yerlin Confidant, he had a nice day, 2 for 5 with a double. Alfredo Alcantara was 2 for 5 as well. And Kind Vu, 1 for 5. It's an on-base streak into the high 20s. I don't have the exact number, but he gets on base. Ovis Portes has had a really nice season so far. Got promoted recently. Had a tough day, 2 2/3 innings. He gave up 5 runs, walked 4 batters. And last but not least, boy, it was a tough day for the Daytona Tortugas. They got swept in a doubleheader by Palm Beach. They lost 2-1 in Game 1 and 12-3 in Game 2. Tortugas now 12-23 on the season. Tyson Lewis had a tough day, 0 for 6 in the 2 games. Did walk once. Arnaldo Lantigua 0 for 3. Mason Neville 1 for 3 with a double. Bernard Moon had a nice day, 3 for 6 with a walk. Then a couple pitchers that really struggled. Ainer Laureano gave up 6 runs over 3 innings. He's got an ERA now of 12 through his first 3 starts. This is a really talented guy. He missed all of 2025 and most of the second half of 2024, so he's just coming back. And then another tough day for Mason Morris. He gives up 7 hits and 6 runs in his 3 innings of work. Reds 2025 third-round pick gave up 3 home runs on Wednesday. He had only given up 3 home runs in his entire professional career, spanning 7 games coming in to the night. But that is your Reds MILB. Reds MILB presented by 78 Cigars. Anthony Munoz has a brand new venture, and we're fired up to partner with it here on Chatterbox Reds, introducing 78 Cigars, a premium cigar line from the Hall of Famer himself. If you love great cigars in Cincinnati football history, this is the perfect combination. You can grab 78 cigars right now at both Montgomery and locations or over at Creekside Cigar Company. You can also check them out online. Just head to anthonymunoz.com. Click on the 78 Cigars page and learn more or place your order today. That's 78 Cigars from the greatest offensive lineman to ever do it, Anthony Munoz.
All right, two quick ones for you, Nick. First of all, if my math is correct, Kind Vu's on base streak now up to 25.
There you go.
So if my counting is correct. And then I wanted to ask you about something that I saw on social media today that I want to get your take on. Alfredo Duno is smoking hot right now. He is on fire, and I'll see if I can find the exact
He was in the 300s,
numbers.
400s, 600s, one of those nice little
Yeah.
slash lines. Oh,
Yeah,
in those
nice
last
little slash line.
games or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the month of May, 8 games, 8 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 homers, 448, 568, 759 for a 1327 OPS. And that wasn't counting today's game where he had the home run. So, okay. So my question to you is, the Reds are historically cautious with catchers.
Okay.
When, if at all this year, do we see Duno in Chattanooga?
I don't think you see him in Chattanooga. I would bet a lot of money he finishes the year at Dayton. I think people are going to not like that, but that's just, if you look at the Reds tracker, I mean, the Reds were very slow with Tyler Stevenson. At some point, as Duno gets further up in the system, it's going to be a very tempting thing for the Reds, because I think he's very clearly going to be a hitter that would help the Reds as like a DH. But obviously DHing a guy and not catching it and not, continuing to develop as a catcher is not great for his overall game. And if you talk about a lottery ticket that can be a superstar that can completely change your organization, I think Alfredo Duno is up there as high as anyone other than Ellie De La Cruz at the moment. So yeah, it'll be tough. I mean, there's been a lot of teams though that do kind of do the slow with the catcher. I think of like the Reds in 2021 with Tyler Stevenson, how they DH'd him a lot and they had Tucker Barnhart. But, I also, Craig, looking back on that, you could also question, did that actually help Tyler Stevenson? Like we talked about how 2022, 2023, and he had a lot of injuries. 2024, he really struggled with blocking behind the plate. If he had developed more as a catcher, would he have been better at that right off the rip and not DH'd a whole bunch and played first base and all that kind of stuff? So it's a tough balance, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I have like the perfect answer for that, because it's definitely one of those things where it's definitely in the Reds' best long-term interest to be very patient with him and make sure he's fully developed as a catcher before you call him up to the big leagues. But I think a lot of it also, Craig, is going to depend on where the Reds organization is at when he gets to the higher levels. Are the Reds organization fully competing, or is Ellie De La Cruz traded and the Reds are trying to reload? I think that's going to determine probably as much as anything.
Well, let me throw this wrench into things which we have to consider as part of this conversation. The Reds today, as part of the transaction, signing Chris Paddock, they DFA PJ Higgins to get him off the 40-man roster. There's a world where PJ Higgins would no longer be with the Reds and either opt into free agency or be picked up by somebody else or potentially be traded somewhere else. The Reds currently at AAA have him and Will Banfield, and that is it. So there's a world where they're going to need to make a move and bring up a catcher from Chattanooga or go sign somebody to take over at AAA. They do have Michael Troutwine at AA currently, along with Ryan McChrystal. Cade Hunter is also listed as a catcher, but I'm not sure his defensive breakdown this year, if he's been catching or playing first or left. But so I don't know if Troutwine moves up to AAA. Do they need to fill that role at AA with somebody? Would that be Duno? Would it be John Michael Fail?
You're burying the lead. Greg.
Go ahead.
The lead. Austin Wynns was just released by the Athletics. Bring him home for Trace.
My God.
I mean, clearly, if he would have gotten more at bats, his career wouldn't have, got to this point. But the Reds wasted their talents.
Oh man. All right. So that would be your move if you were the Reds, if PJ Higgins opts out. But maybe I'm dumb. Isn't there like a 7-day period where PJ Higgins basically has as much time as he wants to make a decision and for the Reds to try and move him or release him or for him to accept his outright to Louisville?
I don't think he has 7 days. I think it's 3 days, if memory serves me correct. But yeah, there's a timetable. I don't know. I have no idea.
You've got to hope that.
I have no idea if he'll get claimed or not. I think there's probably a good chance just because teams always need catchers.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then you're left with Will Banfield as your AAA catcher. Maybe Austin Wynns is interested in coming home, but I guess I'll say this:
got to AAA last year, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he was your AAA catcher last year.
Yeah.
Along with Banfield and Higgins. So he definitely has experience at that level. I know there's people that are high on Troutwine. He did not play at AAA last year. He played at AAA in 2024. Last year spent all of his time at A and AA, which is interesting. Only played 4 games at high A, so that might have been a rehab assignment, and then only played 23 games at AA. Played 77 games at AAA back in 2024, though. So, yeah, I don't know. Interesting conversation that needs to happen, though. He hasn't exactly killed the ball offensively, hitting just $184 this year at AA, with an OPS right around 700-ish. So, I don't know. Let me just say this. The next 3 days could be pretty interesting in terms of what happens. And knock on wood, you just have to hope that Will Banfield doesn't get hurt in the next 3 days, because that would put you in a weird position. So, all right. Any other thoughts on that?
Nope.
Let's do it. Let's look ahead. Reds and Nationals back at it on Thursday.
All right. Chase Burns had a pretty good year. 4-1, 2.11 ERA, going up against the lefty Foster Griffin. Foster Griffin was actually entered the year as only the Nats' 29 ranked prospect, but he's been really good for them. 4-1 with a 2.12 ERA. He's a guy that's kind of had an interesting career. Hadn't pitched in the big league since 2022. But yeah, he's having a great year. As I mentioned, a lefty, so you'll see that kind of lineup. He's never faced a single player on the Reds. Chase Burns faced the Nationals last year. I don't have the line, but the current Nats hitters are 4 for 16 against Burns. C.J. Abrams had a double, and Jacob Young had a double, but no one homered off of him. So, yeah, again, you're just relying on Chase Burns. It kind of feels like he's got to carry a much bigger weight than I think probably anyone expected at this point. But yeah, you desperately need a good start from him because you're going to do a series against the Guardians, a team that's been playing much better, and the pitching matchups really this weekend don't give you a lot of favorable matchups.
Yeah. Game against the Nationals last year, July 22nd, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, walked 2, struck out 10. It was a Reds 6-1 loss at the hands of the Nationals. CJ Abrams hit a double against him. Jacob Young hit a double against him. Luis Garcia and Brady House also hit hits in the game. So there you go. All right. I think that will likely wrap it up for
Did we
tonight.
get all the supers?
Probably not. Probably a good call. We did not. The Frago 17. I admire you guys. This is a organization. Yeah, well, I don't know if you should admire us or feel sorry for us or whatever, but we appreciate the support nonetheless. And as we've said multiple times, the show would be nothing without everybody that watches. So, Frago chimes in again. I'm a fan since 75. Not even Marge was this bad. Ouch. Ouch. Oh boy. Optimistic John. Santiago Espinal goes yard in Los Angeles, leads San Francisco 2-0. Just a note from our old third baseman.
Yeah, big hit for Espinal, now hitting 212, 576 OPS on the season.
Shout out.
First home run of
All
the
right,
year.
everybody, make sure
First
you...
home run of the year.
Huh? Yeah.
First home
Well,
run.
he's only had, 17 at-bats or something. Something crazy.
I mean, clearly needs more.
Clearly. Him and Austin wins, baby. All right, that'll do it for tonight. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you drop us a like and leave us a 5-star review on the podcast if you haven't already. We appreciate you guys as always. And back better than ever tomorrow. I think Trace is back on the show tomorrow.
Yep. You got me.
Are you-
Me and Trace will be on tomorrow.
You're doing a daytime show.
Yep.
Don't sound so excited, baby. All right, Nick and Trace live in the 9th inning on Thursday, day game. Make sure you tune in. Till next time, everybody. Go Reds.